Yo, it's me, Big Brain, back with another Big Brain review. Today, we're talking about Graceland, the play, written by, directed by Lynn Thompson, who was the founding artistic director of America in Play, and she is also a professor in theater department at Brooklyn College. Let's go, Lynn. Starting foundations is what we like to see. Graceland is a play about two women, you heard it twice, two, Bev and Rudy, who are both waiting outside Elvis's Graceland mansion at 5 in the morning on June 4th, 1982. 3 whole days, 3 days, before Graceland opens to the public. Now, you might wonder, who is the protagonist in this play? It's a good question. It's a really good question. I have the answer for you. The protagonist is Bev. Bev is a 42-year-old woman who is quite stubborn because she does not want to give up her seat or her spot in the line to get into Graceland. She is obsessed with Elvis, and she has been for years. She is a little hefty. Now, the six functions of the protagonist, easy as pie to find in Bev. Number one, audience identification. How does the audience identify with her? Through her stubbornness, I feel. A lot of people would not want to give up their seat if they drove to go somewhere to be the first one in there. I wouldn't do it. I don't think you would either. Smart person. Number two, you have growth. Throughout the show, um, Bev is very certain that she's going to be the first person to step into the Graceland mansion after it opens. But as she starts to talk to Rudy, she realizes that her and Rudy have a lot in common. And by the end of the show, she gives it up for Rudy. She gives up her spot. She gives Rudy her tent after she grows very fond of her after talking for a while. Number three, you have action. What does Bev do? Well, for the most part, throughout almost the entire show, she's arguing with Rudy. Rude. But she's arguing, and but then she realizes they have a lot in common, and she realizes that Rudy is there for, honestly, in my opinion, a much better reason than Bev is there for. She's doing it for an actual purpose, not just to say that she was the first one there. Number four, sacrifice. Bev, obviously, like I stated a little bit ago, gives up her opportunity to be the first person to step foot in Graceland Mansion. How nice, Bev. Number five, dealing with death. How does Bev deal with death? Even though they have both lost somebody in the show, I kind of thought that Bev, her death is the idea that she won't be the first person to step into Graceland after talking to Rudy and finally giving up her spot. She realizes that she's gonna do something good for somebody else and give up something that was so important to her. Uh, Number six, fish out of water. How does she accept it? Bev accepts that she's not going to be the first one in there by realizing that her cause is not as important as Rudy's. Rudy is there to kind of honor people, and Bev is just there to say that she is the first one there. Um, what's the meaning? I don't know. What's the whole point of the story? The ending of the story has Bev graciously giving up her tent and her spot in line to be the first person to step into Graceland. And I think that it shows that anybody can grow. It doesn't matter how you are and how determined you are. If it's for a good reason, anybody can change. And I feel like that's what the whole point of the story is. there's an alternate ending to this play, and at the alternate ending is Bev is she gives her tent away, and instead of leaving, she sets up her chair right outside the tent and watches over Rudy until she gets into Graceland. And I think that's better because it shows that she is um, persistent and super willing and compromising. Because instead of she's still camping out, but just not for her own cause at that point anymore. Um, so yeah, I think they did a pretty good job. Um, I really enjoyed the character building on both sides because you had Betty who started off super stubborn and all that, and Rudy who was also kind of stubborn, but they both kind of compromised and talked with each other, and Bev was super compromising and gave everything all of her opportunity away, and I think Rudy grew because in the beginning she didn't feel bad, and as the play went on, Rudy started to feel bad for nagging at this older woman. So, do I recommend seeing this? Oh yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I rate it 4 out of 5 big brains. You heard it here first, folks. Peace out.